So it seems very appropriate at this point to request Father Keating to share a few thoughts of how precisely a great contemplative tradition, how do you see the pursuit of contemplation, and especially in terms of helping altruistic love and unconditional compassion to become not a second nature but our true nature?
Well, it seems to me that I've heard three different issues discussed here this morning, and let me say just a word about each one. First of all, it's been emphasized that this Mind and Life Institute is creating something that has never happened before, namely a sincere and serious dialogue between the scientific community, at least part of it, and religion. And that this institute has been fostered by His Holiness himself. So I want to thank you, Your Holiness, for your initiative in starting a dialogue that is enormously important, it seems to me. First of all, I've been engaged in Buddhist-Christian dialogue for many years, and it feels wonderful to be able to extend the dialogue to other intelligent, if not religious, human beings in the scientific community. And they will find that mystics are not so stupid after all. And I'm sure we will experience that the scientists are on the spiritual journey too, whether they realize it or not. Just to be on this, born is to be on the spiritual journey. But I also wanted to address that in a second, the issue of meditation. And perhaps what I heard in the third point was a pretty much of the physiognomy of the experience of contemplative prayer, looked at from inside the brain. And it would be fun to see if what contemplatives think about these results. In other words, instead of you experimenting with us, how about letting us experiment with you? And see if your findings correspond to our experience. In other words, this is the beginning of taking interior or mystical experience seriously. And I think this would be a great contribution to the development of knowledge in all its aspects. Knowledge that goes beyond discursive knowledge and takes seriously the intuitive capacities of the brain, or what we would call in religious circles the human soul or human spirit. And just to say a word to the discussion that preceded yours talk, John's presentation, which was so wonderful. I would say that what Buddhist meditation emphasizes is clarity of mind, or mindfulness, and this would be very suitable for initiating beginners and for reaching people, if it could be abstracted from belief systems, into the experiential aspect of spiritual practice. What we're talking about here is not just religions, but the spirituality of religions, which is something else than simply an external practice. And it's the interior practice of religion or spirituality that I think affects health and produces the effects you're beginning to see in the brain. So for those, we feel completely at one with our Buddhist brothers and sisters, and indeed all the other spiritual traditions of the world, and hope that these discussions can bring those values into the kind of experience of oneness that is so essential for the globalization process and world peace now. The new physics, for instance, is saying things that are more mystical than you'll ever hear in a Sunday sermon. For instance, I've heard one physicist quoted as saying that you can't have a thought without influencing the rest of the universe instantaneously. Now, maybe that's a small influence. but the whole idea suggests an extraordinary interconnectedness or interdependence of everything in creation. And this has enormous effects on religions and how they see each other and the rest of the world and science and truth. So thanks to the initiatives of this Mind and Life Institute and His Holiness, we're on the verge of a giant leap, it seems to me, in the way that human beings understand themselves and of our accountability or stewardship for the rest of creation, and that our own health or transformation is the beginning of that process. But I don't want to hold up the discussion any more than that, but thank you for the opportunity to say a few words.